Hey guys, Dave and Cali, and I have a special guest here today, Matt in Exile. Let's bring him on in.
Hey
Matt.
guys.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, I got a clip I want to show you. I just want to get your thoughts on it. This is Steve Turley. I'm sure you watch him, right?
Yeah.
Today, March 24th, 2022, liberal globalism officially collapsed. You can mark your calendar on that one. The whole geopolitical project beginning in 1991 with the fall of the Soviet Union and Francis Fukuyama's neocon fantasy of the end of history, where he envisioned that the entire world would now turn to a global neoliberal order that has since culminated in an epidemic of wokeness. That vision died last night.
Wow. Well, guys, the reason why I brought Matt on is this guy knows so much about stuff, and I value his opinion. And so I thought, well, I'll invite him over here and we'll talk about what's going on right now. So Matt, what do you think about that little snippet you just saw?
I don't disagree with what he's saying, but I think when it comes to, let's say, the economic reform that's going on with the Build Back Better stuff and the Great Reset, that's a whole different subject when it comes to globalism, because I think that is still alive. And they're going to use this opportunity, what's going on in Russia and Ukraine with the price of oil going up the way it is. And not only that, that's not the only thing that's going up. Oil, so is the price of gold, silver, precious metals is going up as well. And everything, I don't know if you noticed, but the financial markets right now, the stock markets are dropping like a hammer on a nail. I mean, it's just dropping like crazy. And the reason is because of they know what's going to come later on, and that is sanctions that's going to affect the world when it comes to energy prices in Europe and the United States. And if Europe energy prices goes up, that means that's less trade they're going to be able to take in, because they're going to have less money because of where the money's going to be going. And if they're taking less products in, that's less products coming to the United States. That means that's going to be less employment in the United States. Unemployment's going to go up in the United States, which will affect the
all the way around.
Everything all the way around. That's worldwide. It's going to happen worldwide that way.
So what do you think that I know we're all criticizing what Putin's doing, but Turley's got a kind of a different kind of point of view, at least than what I've considered, is some of the stuff that's going on, especially this global wokeism that seems to be permeating everywhere. I mean, he even claims that NATO is pushing that same narrative. Matter of fact, I've got a little clip from his show. All this is going to be from Steve's show, so I was pretty impressed with it. Let's run that ad.
Yes, that vision died last night, and Russian President Vladimir Putin killed it. Now, if you want to get a sense of what liberal globalism has become, particularly under the auspices of NATO, take a look at this.
Now, this is a commercial for NATO.
At NATO,
diversity
is our strength. Nous parlons une multitude de langues.
Nous possédons des talents différents.
our own unique personalities.
We come from all over the world.
From every walk of life.
No two of us
Are the same.
we work together.
Respect our needs.
Embrace our differences.
Because we all have one thing in common.
We are NATO.
It kind of reminds me of this video the CIA put out trying to get people to go and apply at the CIA. So that video had way worse music than this one did. But I think this video is not going to scare anyone. That includes Russia, China, North Korea, Iran. None of them are going to be scared by this video and by the NATO. NATO, in my opinion, is pretty much lost the reason why it actually exists, why it's actually there. It came to be because of the Soviet Union. Well, the Soviet Union's gone. So why is it still here?
Yeah.
And it's not very effective. It certainly hasn't affected what Russia's doing, what China's doing, or what North Korea or what Iran has done.
So, according to this next clip, he was saying that they actually helped put in place some of the conditions, and they weren't being met. Now let me play it because I'm not good at explaining it.
Keep in mind, you can be absolutely sure Vladimir Putin has seen that video. He knows what NATO and much of the Western world has become. And what do you think he's making of all of that? Well, you don't have to speculate. All you have to do is see what he's doing right now in Ukraine, and you'll get your answer. What are these circumstances? First and foremost, as far as Russia is concerned, and I would agree with this assessment, the Minsk agreements were effectively killed by Ukraine's ongoing aggression towards the Donbass breakaway republics. Ukraine has been wholly uninterested in fulfilling their part of the Minsk protocol. Instead, they've been punishing the two breakaway territories with some pretty harsh blockades. They've been shelling the region nonstop. There are, according to Russia, 60,000 Ukrainian troops that remain in the Donbass region. And as a result, the Russian Federation having to come to terms with the notion that the Minsk agreements that they brokered, keep in mind, Russia has for the last 7 years been trying to get a ceasefire effected in this region. 7 years. Russia's come to the conclusion that the Minsk Accords are not going to ever be fulfilled. And so the Russian Federation officially recognized the two breakaway republics, Lugansk and Donetsk, as sovereign autonomous nations, which thus accounted for Russia's military buildup around the Ukrainian border. Once recognized, those autonomous regions would most likely require military intervention to expel Ukrainian forces from the region, hence the buildup. Once Putin recognized the autonomy of the regions, Russia gave an order to Ukraine that as part of this recognition, there was to be an immediate ceasefire of all hostilities, all shellings, and the withdrawing of Ukrainian troops from the Donbass region. That has not happened. I understand there was a brief reprieve after Putin's announcement, and then just something seemed to snap. Reports were that shelling from Ukrainian troops escalated, intensified significantly overnight, and around 4:30 a.m. this morning, the two republics of the Donbass formally requested Russia's intervention, and here we are.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about the Minsk agreement is not something that NATO agreed to or help create the conditions of. Neither did the United States. They do not recognize it, and that's really the overlying problem is with it. Now, Russia, they were asked by these two provinces to defend them against Ukraine. But, well, the thing is, they didn't have to surround Ukraine on the whole side of Russia, as well as in Bolivia, I believe, went in through that way as well. So, and not only that, why would you need Chernobyl? Because they took Chernobyl today.
Yeah.
Why would you need that? That's not even close to those provinces. So there's a lot of things going on here that don't really add up to me when it comes to what his argument is, which I agree with the premise of what started it, but Russia's taking it to a whole new level now.
Yeah.
In my opinion, what's happening is they're trying to create a buffer zone with NATO, where the NATO troops right now are on the border of Ukraine. They haven't went into Ukraine yet.
Yeah.
And I don't think they are. I don't think NATO doesn't want that to happen, and the United States doesn't want that to happen because they know what will happen after that. So they're trying to create a buffer zone with NATO and make it almost like a demilitarized zone, kind of like what you have in northern and southern Korea. And that's why I think it's going on here. Because now a lot of people believe he's going to take all of Ukraine. I don't think so. I think he's going to take the part of Ukraine that has mostly ethnic Russians.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
And he's going to create that buffer zone to keep a good chunk of area to keep the UN troops from actually getting close to Russia. I think that's his plan. He also wants to create some strife in NATO as well. Perfect example is you had Italy came out and said, "Hey, if we're going to put sanctions on, we can't do it on the energy sector because it'll affect our energy prices." Well, what happened? Majority of the countries have put sanctions on the energy sector, and that's the reason oil went up $10 a barrel today. That's the reason natural gas went up, I believe, another $1, and so on and so forth. And it's a matter of time before it escalates even more when it comes to the economy in these countries in Europe, because it's going to affect them tremendously. Because even Vladimir Putin, whenever they shut down that gas line, his reaction will have fun paying $2,000 a month for heating bill, and that's gonna hurt their economy, and it's gonna hurt the people there tremendously.
Yeah. Well, just with everything that's going on in the news today, it's like, you just don't know what to believe sometimes about what, the media is feeding you, and what's really going on and so forth. I know a few guys that have been stationed over there, and they're telling me that things aren't like what they're trying to make it seem.
Well, one thing I think everybody was shocked that it actually happened, because I think they thought that Vladimir Putin was going to do that. And I didn't think so either, because if you look at what the Ukrainian government was saying, they said nothing's going to happen. Russia's not going to invade. Everything's going to be fine, so on and so forth. And, well, it happened. And, there's questions whether or not they had justified in doing so. I don't know, because there's a long story to get you to point A to point B on what happened here. And a lot of it has to do with blowback with Washington and their interference in that part of the world. And this, I'm a big fan of Ron Paul, and he talks about blowback all the time when it comes to our foreign policy. Our foreign policy is erratic at best, and we get involved in stuff we should have no business getting involved in. And this is a perfect example of that. And we got involved in that during the revolution that happened in Ukraine. And this is what happens when we get involved in stuff that has nothing to do with us.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, I'm just about out of I got 2 minutes left here. Hey, Natt, I really appreciate you coming on. And hey, you guys, check him out. It's Matt in Exile. Go over and give him some love. And, you have another channel too, don't you?
Yeah. It's called Sweet Home West Virginia.
Sweet Home West Virginia. So, so if you guys want to hear more, that's the place to go. So anyway, you guys leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya. But guys, that's my opinion. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. Peace.